Star Citizen just dropped its best and creepiest content yet, the Onyx Facilities. CIG has been cooking with this patch, so let's dive into these facilities and see what makes them so great. Patch 4.3 released the Onyx Facilities to the live environment last month. With the introduction of this new content, we went to an underground facility that continues the mad scientist storyline that began earlier this year. I've tried out the final form of this facility on the PTU, and I am really excited by this type of content. CIG has really nailed the atmosphere in this location, and it is just so well made. The Onyx Facilities are creepy, and even though I'm not a fan of the horror genre, I gotta admit, I'm more into their version of space horror than I expected. And it's surprisingly immersive. The fantastic execution of visuals, lighting, set dressing, sound score, and so much more makes this my absolute favorite content drop in all of Star Citizen's history. So let's look into what makes this place so awesome. The first time I arrived at the Onyx facility, I was immediately struck by the music that started playing as I approached it. It was dark and gloomy and set the atmosphere for what was to come inside. And as advertised inside the facility, everything is eerie. The lighting is dark and cold, the music gives you tingles, and there are corpses and a variety of other disturbing sights to warn you of all the things that have gone wrong in here. In 4.3 we were introduced to Phase 1 of Onyx, where we could enter the engineering and research wings. Both locations offer a lot of stunning visuals, like the stony main hall of the engineering wing, where pulses of radiation sweep through the room. If you're not careful, you can die from this lethal exposure to radiation, so forgetting to wear armor in a room like this spells your doom. But even if you suit up and bring a lot of gear, you will still be assaulted by worms, dogs, and humans alike. This place is truly dangerous, and I have died on Onyx ground a lot of times already. Other than gorgeous views, awesome music, and plenty of PvE challenges, there is still a super chilling story. I wasn't as creeped out by the Stormbreaker event as I have been from the things I've discovered deep in the Onyx facility. Dr. Jorid is a truly nasty big bad evil guy, and I would love to steal his story and turn it into a D&D campaign. So for those of you who enjoy following the story and the lore of Star Citizen, this chapter is captivating as hell. Finally, I want to mention the addition of the new light armor, the Geist Armor ASD edition. This cool new armor is extra special because of the fact that it only drops in orange armor crates that can be found around the facility. The ASD armor pieces have a 1.5% chance of spawning, so they are incredibly hard to find. Some people don't like the RNG, but I really like the fact that we introduce exclusivity to the game based on the effort and time people put into it, not how much money they spend outside of it. Star Citizen has, in my opinion, been in dire need of getting some more cool MMO loops, and introducing items that need you to play the game a lot is one of them. It rewards those that work hard to obtain it, the same way that people who raid in World of Warcraft is rewarded with good gear for their effort. Now we just need armor to do other things and look cool and give damage reduction. I personally like this kind of loop in the game because it also fuels player-to-player economy. Because the ASD armor pieces are so hard to get, they are sold by players for around 1 to 3 million AUEC each. This is the supply and demand mechanic that is fundamental to MMO economy that we still are barely to see in Star Citizen. I'm always very excited whenever CIG unintentionally adds content that introduces some type of economy in the game. So please do take notes, CIG, because we desperately need more things that create supply and demand and fuels gameplay built on economy. There is more in Phase 1 I could go over, but Phase 2 has just been introduced with the 4.3.1 on PTU. So let's talk about all the cool new content that will be released in the September patch. I was already having so much fun with the facility in Phase 1 that I was super surprised when Phase 2 improved the Onyx facilities by orders of magnitude. Even though there was a lot of cool stuff previously, it was also very obvious that more content was meant to be added later. This also made the facility feel a little half-baked, but with the 4.3.1 additions, that feeling doesn't linger anymore. The new content has introduced surprisingly challenging puzzles, a very disturbing mini-boss, and the culmination of the already intriguing storyline from 4.3. So when I loaded into the PTU this weekend, I was so excited to try out the third and final wing of the facility, and I have to admit, I was not let down. For Phase 2, I decided to go back in with 2 of my friends because I'd been dying to show them this cool new facility. But what I didn't expect was just how much content was added with Phase 2, and I had such a great time that I didn't mind going through it for the 107th time. I was really happy to see the newly added puzzles to the engineering wing. They were a breath of fresh air that were a clear level up in complexity in comparison to previous puzzles. This isn't just the simple and somewhat monotonous print key, use key to open door gameplay that we are used to from the Hathor locations. It is a combination of analyzing the data from various system terminals, figuring out how to repair pipes, line machines, and much more. I also managed to go through some of the puzzles single-handedly, but I definitely recommend playing them with a friend as some of the timers are short and much of the action requires a fair bit of coordination. Did you guys find the puzzles tricky, or was it just me who got stuck twice? Secondly, I was awestruck by the sheer scale of the third and final wing of Site B. This location is breathtaking, and the scale is emphasized with its impossibly tall ceilings, the crude mountain walls, and the gigantic elevators and buildings. Thirdly, it's nice to see the final quest in the Onyx facility is pretty long and requires much bigger time commitment than what we're used to in Star Citizen. Often, missions in this game feel pretty straightforward and don't usually take longer than half an hour, but this last mission guided us through every corner of the facility and took us more than 2.5 hours to complete. Having longer story-driven quest lines gives a much more immersive experience and feels like the world is much more alive. I haven't even mentioned the cool new heavy armor set, the beefy LMG, or what the intriguing storyline entails, but I'll let you guys try this one out for yourselves as I don't want to spoil the story and ruin your first playthrough of this awesome location. All in all, Phase 1 and 2 amount to an awesome player experience that include all of the essential components that make a game great. Immersive atmosphere, entertaining gameplay, fantastic music, and loads of replayability. The ASD Onyx facilities are made up of all these things and much more. And even though it is annoying having to go in and out of the facilities doing each of the quests given to you by Archenmalor, wow, that's a hard name, Archenmalor, that annoyance pales in comparison to this awesome experience. Finally, I just want to give a huge kudos to all of the CIG staff that have been involved in the Onyx facility project. It is very clear to me just how much love have been poured into this location, and I really commend you guys for it. It has also been an absolute joy to play this story, and it gives me the faith and optimism which I don't always have when it comes to believing that Star Citizen is going to be the great game that Chris Roberts have promised time and time again. I know a lot of people love to hate this game and it gets a lot of crap most of the time, but I think that there is very little to criticize about the Onyx facilities, and it deserves a lot of praise. So let me be the first one to say, good job on this project. I know I've had a blast playing it myself, and I hope to see so much more like it, because if I do, I'm gonna be a very happy Star Citizen. That is it, everyone. What has been your favorite part about the ASD Onyx facilities? Have you even tried getting past the power core room yet? Or are you still grinding the ASD armor set? Or maybe you're just chilling in the lobby to this eerie music? I would love to hear all about it in the comments down below. And finally, just thanks for watching. I'm having so much fun making these videos, so if you guys enjoy watching them, please give it a like and subscribe. And make sure to stay tuned because I just have so much Star Citizen content upcoming, both with CitizenCon being, I think, 3 weeks from now. So yeah, there's a lot upcoming. So thanks once more and see you around.